Recently, there's been conversations about the church, especially like on social media with news and Christianity, with people like John Gray going through his affairs, and then even in the Catholic Church with talks about the different priests and the things that the cases that they have going on over there. What would you say to someone who feels skeptical about religion because of the public perception of its leaders?
Yes, I think that's a very, very good question about how do people navigate when the humans that are in leadership become human and become flawed. And I think the best example I can say is everybody's had cold fries once in their lives from McDonald's, and it didn't stop them from going back. And I think that a lot of times we want reasons to not go to church because we want reasons in our humanity to not have to grow and to not have to be challenged. Is I think that it is a culture of men and women now that no longer want to hear the hard stuff. That the only thing we want is the pep rally, and we want the homecoming event at church. The only word that we want to hear at church is how God gonna get us through and how God gonna make a way out of no way. But a lot of times we need to hear that the problem is not external, the problem is internal. And it is only when you do that work that a lot of the storms stop, that a lot of the storms in our lives can be self-induced. And so we blame God, we blame the church, we blame everything around us, but just like you still go back after that cold French fry, keep going because it's a hospital. And it's a hospital full of patients. And everybody's got some type of sickness. And all of us need the doctor.
You've been very vocal about your own personal storms. How do you balance being a flawed human being with being someone who is so highly regarded because of the work they do in the church?
Is I prefer being flawed, and I prefer being seen flawed. I celebrate in my weaknesses, as Paul would say. Paul, in one of his greatest letters, says that I glory in my weaknesses so that the power of Christ may rest on me. And he begins to list all of these areas about his life that are not perfect, that have ugliness to them. And I think that this perfect picture that has kept people away from God and kept away from church and has made people live condemned is the picture that I'm trying to erase and I'm trying to rewrite by leading the pact of saying that don't follow me if you don't see me following him. That if you see my life hypocritical in any way, don't give warrant or don't give a cosign to who I am and what I do if my life is not striving to line up to it. And so in doing that, me sharing all of the issues of my humanity, I also heal as I reveal. So the more that I talk about where I was and where I'm striving to be, there's also medicine in that. And so I'm very happy to do it. I get excited to do it. And I'd rather talk about that than trophies, because trophies will tarnish, but character will last you forever.
You've been extremely open about the estranged relationship you had with your father prior to his death. What, if anything, did you learn from his death about forgiveness and moving forward?
It is still very important to know that forgiveness is free, but trust is earned. And healing can never be on a watch. We have to throw the watches away and allow people to heal at their process. And I'm still going through that process now. I mean, just because I love Jesus don't make it magic. And so I'm still going through it now, still when the thought of it comes, because remember, I'm trying to mourn a man I never knew. And so what that looks like and how that feels and how do I emote that? How do I execute my faith in it? It's a real process for me, and I don't have all the answers. And I'm okay with saying that I don't have the answers.
Okay, and lastly, I just like to know what's the biggest change you think from the beginning of your career until now?
The biggest change from the beginning of my career until now is I grew 2 inches. And I've been praying for that. God answers prayer. Now, I don't know. I don't know. It's a great question, but I don't know. And I do need for you to know, though, on everything, that it is a mad honor for me to be able to speak to beautiful people like you, or to have an opportunity, because, I've been doing it for a long time, and to still be a part of people's journey, and for people to still want to talk to you like this, or even want to hear what you have to say, is something that I don't take for granted, because it don't have to be like this, and I realized that as I realized that people could stop listening to my music a long time ago. And so I'm grateful, man. I give God all the glory, and I'm truly appreciative.